Finding a good recipe for bread online is a mission. I don't know how many recipes I've tried, all with the hopes that today's recipe will result in a good loaf of bread. I've had mixed results. This recipe doesn't rise. That recipe results in a dense bread that didn't rise in the blanket before or rise in the oven while baking. Another recipe that almost tragically chokes my father because the resulting bread is dry and crumbly. I like making bread because I would consider bread to be my favorite group of food. The smell of freshly baked bread is something I could happily be around, and my enjoyment isn't limited to one type of bread. The bread could be a plain white loaf or a cheese roll, or have meat and cheese rolled up into the dough before baking. Bread is bread, and I love it. The banana bread recipe I use comes from The Strangest Place, the CRPG Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura has a banana bread recipe in the user manual. I have tried several times to play that game. I can see that it's good. The world is something I want to explore. I just can't get into it. As for the bread it makes, perfect every time. The cinnamon used in the recipe makes the bread fragrant and warm. It goes really well with some butter after it comes out the oven. I often cook it when there are leftover bananas at home, not wanting those fruits to go to waste and rot. It takes 3 and works best when the bananas are soft. Most of the failed bread recipes I've used come from the internet. I start every one of those recipes with the hope that it will make a great bread. In the end, those recipes are a gamble. A gacha pool where you keep getting the cat instead of the character you want. Of all those recipes of failure, only one has worked. A honey oat bread by butter with a side of bread. I've linked the recipe below. Perfect every time. A slightly sweet yet savory bread. Holds together perfectly. Excellent for eating. Now, the best place for recipes is a book my mother bought years ago. It's called The Bread Bible by Christine Ingram and Jenny Shapter. It's a reference book divided into 3 parts. The introduction detailing the craft behind the making of bread, the terminology used in the book, and the tools used in the baking of the bread, and techniques used. The second section, Breads of the World, is an annotated list of breads made around the world, from Europe to America and India to Japan. The first 2 sections take up half the book. The second half of the book and third section is dedicated to bread recipes. The section, Bread Recipes of the World, is where the magic of the book is found. Here, a man can find instructions on how to turn wheat flour to gold. Breads from Britain, breads from France, breads from the Mediterranean to Northern Europe and Scandinavia, breads from the Americas, India, and the Middle East. All places where the tradition of making bread is strong or was carried there by settlers. Every recipe I have followed from this book has given perfect results. The Italian chocolate bread came out perfectly. Make no mistake, the chocolate bread is bread, but with chocolate pieces and cocoa powder mixed in. Although the chocolate I used was a little too bitter for me. The chocolate bread would be perfect for a dessert sandwich. A sandwich with sweet cream and fruit. Perfect, fluffy focaccia, the dough of which could be made into perfect pizza bases. I started this journey looking for a perfect white bread recipe. I just wanted to make a great loaf of bread, and it's worked perfectly despite the cold stopping the second one from rising properly. The split tin, a perfect loaf of bread, bread perfect for sandwiches, bread perfect with butter, bread perfect for eating plain, I suppose I didn't intend for this to turn into a book review. I just wanted to talk about bread and my journey to find the perfect bread recipe. Though I do recommend the Bread Bible. Bread really is something I really enjoy.